All right, Sierra, thanks so much. I am joined now by Marie Fiebach, a Wichitan who is both an author and a public speaker. As a matter of fact, she's written a book called Feed Your Family Tonight, and it's all about getting that meal on the table in the midst of the chaos.
That's right.
And I say that with a capital C.
Amen.
that so many families have. Tell us about this idea, because it's a great one. It seems simple on the surface, but so many families are running into this problem. They can't figure out how to get food on the table at home because there's so much going on.
That's exactly it. When you're running your kids to soccer practice and play practice, dance and piano, you're trying to figure out when you're going to eat. So I help busy families figure out when that time is they can actually get dinner on the table, and then help them with tools and techniques to make that possible even when you're busy.
How did you come up with this idea? Or have you always loved to cook? Did you think you were an efficient meal preparer? How did the idea come about?
I have always been a really good cook. When I was little, I would enter stuff in the state fair. It's something that's always been a part of me. And I realized that my friends were asking me how I did it. And it was something that came naturally to me, but didn't come naturally to them. So I started teaching families how to prepare a little bit ahead, or to think about what they're going to have on what night. You don't want to fix something last minute when you're going to be running in the door. That's the night for something in the oven or the crock pot.
Because the tendency is, and we can all see this when we drive around Wichita, drive-throughs with a line wrapped around the building, because that is the easier thing to do. Oh, forget it. Let's not eat at home. Let's not cook. Let's just go to a drive-through.
So true, but the key to getting out of the drive-through is to always have a backup at your home. You need to have 2 or 3 things that you can get on the table in 20 minutes or less. One of my favorite things is to have taco meat in the freezer, so that I can pull out some lettuce, and in 20 minutes I've got dinner on the table, which is almost faster than the drive-through some days.
Good segue, because you are going to prepare some taco seasoning for us right here.
I can.
Is that right?
Yes.
Show us how you would do this in a quick and efficient manner.
Well, this taco mix is something that you can keep on hand, make it ahead of time, and then just take it out as you need it. It starts with 1.5 cups of chili powder.
Okay.
And I just mix this straight in the jar that I keep in my cabinet all the time. And then there's 3/4 cup of cumin, and 2 tablespoons each of garlic powder and onion powder.
Okay.
1/4 cup of paprika, and 2 tablespoons of oregano, and 2 teaspoons of black pepper. And this last ingredient, I don't know, do you like things spicy?
Well, it depends on the degree of spiciness. A little bit of kick is okay, but
1 teaspoon gives you just a little bit of spice, but not too much. But if there's little kids in the home, you can omit it so that it's not too spicy.
There you go.
And then all you do is stir it up. And then when you go to make your taco meat, for every pound of browned meat, and you can use hamburger or ground turkey, you put in 2 tablespoons of the mix, 1/2 cup of water, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And when I talk to busy families and tell them what I do, I actually tell them I make 12 pounds at a time, because I have 4 kids at home, including a teenage boy. And so that gets us 6 or 7 meals.
He could probably eat the 12 pounds by himself, right?
On a good day, he sure can. You may not need 12 pounds, but 3 or 4 might. So you have something in the freezer all the time, and you can help avoid that drive-through.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like you want to identify meals like tacos that you can prepare quickly. Maybe spaghetti might be another one that you can cook a lot of and do quickly. Is that, am I in the right ballpark?
You're definitely in the right direction, but sometimes you want to do something that takes a little more time, but you think ahead. If you're going to have something where you're running in the door and you're going to have to eat dinner right then, do you know what my favorite thing for that is?
What's that?
It's roast chicken. Because I prep it the night before when I'm cleaning up the dinner dishes, have it in the refrigerator. I throw it in the oven between running my kids to all their activities, and then when we come home, I take it out of the oven and dinner's ready.
And another thing that we were talking about before we began the interview that is so important, cooking at home facilitates eating together as a family much more easily, which is so important, because that's something that's been lost on a lot of families across America because of all the chaos.
Well, that's just so true. It's so hard to find a time to come together as a family. But if you think and you really look at your activities and plan when you're going to eat around your activities, you can take that time and gather your family. This is your time to spend time together. I was telling you, we don't have a television in our kitchen because we want to have that time be our family time.
What do you do if one of your kids pulls out their phone at the table?
The phones go out of the kitchen at dinner time. Although, to be honest with me, I'm the one that has to put mine away more than they do.
But it really is important. We're living in such a crazy age of technology that it's important to calm things down, especially at a time like dinner time.
Well, it gives you a chance to reconnect with your family, to hear a little bit about what their day. My mother has a tradition where she asks everybody, who did something nice for you, or did you do something nice for someone else? And that's something that we keep in our family as part of our dinner time conversation.
Back to the cooking, what do you say to the people, oh, I could never do what you do, I'm not a good cook? What's your response to those people?
It doesn't take much to be a good cook. And I'm telling you, I actually wrote my cookbook with that type of person in mind. When I did my research, I found out there were two kinds of cooks. One is the cook that uses recipes only for suggestions, and one is the cook who follows the details. And I wrote both types of directions in my book. And I actually had a gal who was one of my recipe testers. She had never roasted a chicken before, and she was so afraid to do it. And she said, why have I not done this before? Your directions are so clear. So you can do it. Just follow your directions.
No excuses.
No excuses.
Feed Your Family Tonight by Marie Fiebach. Marie, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you. It's a joy.